Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Let's Play of the Baldur's Gate Trilogy. In this episode, we'll be starting with the Nashkel Mines, and we'll be doing the Bandit Camp as well as a few other kind of housekeeping things.
So you want to take a look at me mine, do you?
Stand away, citizen!
Not a
And I was talking to a nice guy on Reddit that goes by Mojavis or Mojavis or something like that. And he gave me some useful feedback. He said I should explain a little bit more of what I'm doing. And that's my bad. I take for granted a lot of the information that I know about the Infinity games and Infinity Engine games and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons in general, just because I grew up playing these. And a lot of people don't have that experience, so I should explain more of my thought process and why I'm doing certain things. So generally, all my actions boil down to three different things. I'm either trying to get experience, trying to get gold, or I'm trying to get items.
so dark down here.
Seeing as I have basically all the items that I'm going to need for the game, aside from things that I have to pick up in the city of Baldur's Gate, my main goal is to advance the storyline and to get experience at this point.
With ease.
So that greenstone ring you can give to a woman later, who is the wife of that dead man that was sitting there, and you get 800 experience for that. So it's just an easy thing that, just gets you free XP. Now, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I hit that spider on a roll of 2, which means my Thaco is sufficient that I'm going to only miss on a critical miss on 90% of the enemies in this game. And for the most part, enemies can only hit me on a 20, a roll of a critical hit. If you're a thief, you want to be careful of this spot because there's 3 traps. I just face tanked it because I'm dumb, and I'm also overpowered because I'm soloing the game. But if you're playing with a party, those traps will certainly kill you because you won't be nearly this high of a level.
With ease.
What? How do you get in here?
And that's the reason why that amulet is overpowered, because it turns what could be a dangerous encounter into something completely trivial. Also, make sure you pick up that potion of absorption. You'll make use of that later, as you will see me do. I'm sure you noticed that I didn't free Czar Zan. I'm obviously not going to use him because I'm soloing, and it also doesn't give you experience to set him free. So I always skip it.
Not a problem.
Now these women here can be quite dangerous. Ordinarily I just shoot them with fireballs until they die, but because I'm a berserker and I can resist their crowd control effects, I didn't really have to. From here on out in the playthrough, you'll see me leave quite a bit of gear on the ground, even gold sometimes. It's just because I don't need any more gold, I don't need any more items, aside from ones that I can't buy, ones that I have to find. So my primary concern from here on out in Baldur's Gate 1 is, like I said before, advancing the storyline and getting experience.
Hello there.
Not a problem.
So when you put that fourth point in any weapon, you get +1 to your damage and -1 to your speed factor, which means your weapon will swing faster earlier in the round, which potentially means that you can one-shot enemies before they have a chance to attack you.
I am death come. Surrender. My passing shall be quicker.
Now this was sloppy that I fought him without my berserk active, and I paid the price, and I end up taking a bunch of damage from him. But I'm not really in any danger of dying. And he drops boots that I used to think were just awesome. They're boots of avoidance that give you +5 armor class versus missile weapons, which sounds amazing, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that really, 90% of the people that I'm coming across are going to only hit me on a roll of a 20, and at that point they're just getting lucky and my armor class doesn't do anything for me. So the boots really aren't that important. That being said, if you're playing with a party and you have to split up all your good gear and you're a little bit stretched for money and things like that, it is a great item. I dropped that wand you saw, it's worth about 2,000 gold I think, but I really don't need 2,000 gold.
You were startled. You have been waylaid by enemies.
Not a problem.
The question was raised to me why I would be choosing between level 9 and level 13 to dual class, and the reason is simple. At level 9 you get your Grandmaster in whatever weapon you chose to specialize in, so that is essentially the bare minimum that you should consider dual classing if you started as a fighter class. Another option is level 7 because you get you get another half attack per round, which will increase your damage by around 25%, your damage per second, or damage per round. And the reason level 13 is the other kind of cutoff is that's when you get another half attack per round. So my character right now is attacking 1.5 times per round. Once I hit level 7, I'll be attacking 2 times per round, and that's the most I'll ever do because I'm going to dual class at level 9. But if I would go to 13, I'd be attacking 2.5 times per round. So one round I'd be attacking twice, the next round I'd attack 3 times, and so on.
With ease.
But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that in Baldur's Gate 2 and beyond, I'm really going to become what amounts to a solo, like a single class mage with berserk and more HP. I'm not really going to be using my staff to fight. I'm going to be using my spells to deal my damage.
It will be done.
And by the time I'm level 9, I should have just shy of 100 HP, which is a lot. That's mostly thanks to the fact that I've been cheesing the level up system by lowering my difficulty as I level up to get my max hit points. Another question was raised as to why I'm not playing the whole game on the easy difficulty. The reason is that I want to play on the core rules of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons where, you know, everything's fair. They have to play by the same rules I do. My damage is not modified in any way. I'm not doing less damage just because of the difficulty. They're not doing more damage because of the difficulty, nor are they doing less. And I believe that you get an XP penalty for playing on anything lower than normal, if I remember correctly. And I've never been tempted to play on hard or insane or whatever the higher difficulties are, because it's artificial difficulty, if you understand that concept. It's not that the game is harder, it just means that they do more damage and have more HP, that kind of stuff. It's just changing numbers. It doesn't change gameplay in any way. And as you saw, I pulled those bandits back. That's because I wanted to fight them without fighting the big fighter guy that's sitting out there. I forgot his name. Yeah, no wonder I forgot his name. It's like Tau Gaz Fasam or something. Kosan. Right there you see me pick up a set of full plate mail, the same as what I'm wearing. That's why I've said before, you don't ever need to buy armor in this game, but I had the gold to spare. So I figured, why not pick up a good set of armor earlier. Ordinarily, this fight with the bandits, the leaders of the bandits inside this next tent, is pretty tough. So I decided to try something new, and you'll see what I do. I don't think it's worth using that potion of invisibility after the fact, so I won't in the future, but I figured it was a good experiment.
Not a problem. With ease. Sorry, friend, but you got to say.
let's say you're using a solo thief, like let's say you want to do an assassin solo, then it would be absolutely worth it to hide in shadows in there, you know, backstab the mage, and then drink your potion of invisibility so you can reposition yourself and get another backstab on another guy. Potentially, depending on your level and everything else, you could knock out 2 of those fighters before the fight even begins. Make sure you loot this room. You get around 800 gold and a potion of magic protection or magic blocking. Either one, like regardless of which one it is, they're both useful. Also, make sure you talk to Endersai before using that chest, because it has a trap on it, and this is the reason why you take that potion of absorption, so you don't die to this trap. Because it does insane damage, and because it's a lightning bolt, odds are it's going to bounce around the room and kill Endersai. And those are the same gauntlets that I had picked up from the guy in the Firewind Bridge area. So that's why that's not necessary either. But if you didn't know that there are 2 of those gauntlets of weapon expertise in the game, now you do.
As darkness falls,
It will be done.
Don't touch me. I'm super important.
Not a problem.
oh there, wanderer. Stay thy course a moment to indulge in a...
With ease. It will be done. It will be done.
You want some whiskey?
Not a problem. With ease.
You want some whiskey?
It will be done. It will be done.
I can make whatever you wish for a wee little bit more than me competition.
With ease. Not a problem.
So now that I have all the money you could ever want and all the gear that money can buy, I always come here and pick up whatever scrolls, potions, and anything else that I think I'll need for the rest of the game. And for the most part, that turns into, you know, potions that will resist magic, because there's a couple fights that have pretty dangerous magical attacks that you should be aware of. I also pick up a scroll of protection of poison and those potions of freedom for Cloakwood, specifically the spider area, just because I hate it. It's not necessary, especially if you're doing a berserker, because berserk makes you immune to the web spells, the web traps that are everywhere. But it's nice to not have to worry about that. Now you'll see me fumble around in the next areas a little bit. I got a little turned around. I was looking to try to find the lighthouse area where the cave is with the flesh golems in it. You'll see it. It's in this video. But I got a little turned around, forgot how to get there, and so I do a little bit of unnecessary content. Those potions, I don't know if they're guaranteed drops. I don't think they are, but that potion of Fire Giant Strength is an extremely lucky drop. Because keep in mind that your strength essentially is your ability to hit enemies and your ability to damage them. It's extremely valuable. Extremely valuable. It's the most important stat for any melee character. So I thought maybe I could get south from this area, but I realized that I couldn't. And but I found a few things in this area that were worth my time. For one, these ogres are the ones that a knight and the jovial juggler want you to kill. You can see they're doing a number on me. I wasn't paying attention to the damage rolls or the attack rolls, but it seems like they can hit me on probably a 17 or 18 or better, and because they're attacking at least twice a round, you know, the numbers just add up. The number of hits start to add up. I recently soloed through Icewind Dale 1 and in the Heart of Winter expansion as a fighter thief, and it's just amazing to see the difference between armor classes in that game and this one. This one, the lowest I think I've ever seen is like a minus 12 or minus 13 in Throne of Fall, and in Baldur's Gate 1, I mean, you have an amazing armor class if you have minus 5, minus 6. But in Icewind Dale, I mean, for a while there, I had minus 18 armor class. Thank goodness I did too, because there was no way I would be able to solo that game if enemies could hit me on anything more than a critical hit. So that ring, if you're ever tempted to keep it, is a ring of clumsiness or something like that. It's cursed, and it'll lower one of your stats to 3. So you do not want it, and he does. And he gives you 300 XP and that potion of fiery burning. Which I could take or leave the potion, but, you know, experience. Experience is everything. I could have easily died there because I wasn't ready for the hit, and if he would have held me, I would have been screwed. These sirens or sirens, I don't know why it's spelled that way, but anyway, they're worth 2,000 experience each, and they carry a lot of valuable stuff on them. So if you can swing it, you should consider killing them as often as possible. And you saw that one get struck by lightning. I thought that was kind of crazy. I hadn't seen that in a long time. And then I get hit by lightning. you've noticed that I never pick up arrows. Those are an exception. Those are arrows of biting, I believe, and they're really great if you're an archer character or if you're any ranged character that shoots arrows. They're some of the most powerful damage per second arrows in the game, even in Baldur's Gate 2. So it's always great to pick them up, but I'm picking them up because they're worth an insane amount of gold.
You have been waylaid by enemies.
Although now that I think about it, I don't know why I even bother.
With ease.
I guess once I get to the city of Baldur's Gate, there's a few more scrolls and potions that I'm gonna buy. But other than that, I don't know why I even bother.
It will be done.
So there's a significant amount of magical loot that I'm leaving behind or just ignoring and not even showing in this playthrough. If you're interested in seeing that stuff, let me know. I can go around and pick up some of the stuff that you'll certainly want to know about if you're playing through with a party. For instance, the gloves of dexterity are really handy. There's gloves of archery. There's a girdle of bluntness, or yeah, that resists blunt damage. There's a girdle of piercing somewhere. There's a golden girdle which reduces slashing damage. Quite a bit of stuff that's actually pretty useful to know about. Also, I should probably show the Scrolls of Cloudkill, because if you're playing as a mage, or if you have any magic user in your party, you definitely want to know where those are. Although you can't memorize them because the level cap just won't allow you to in Baldur's Gate 1, the scrolls are extremely valuable for the harder fights in the game. Most of the time you want to use them on the Sarevok fight exclusively, but if you're having a hard time with Deveorn or whatever his name is in the Cloakwood area, then it's also alright to use it there. Although he teleports everywhere, so you might not want to. But now we're getting to the point where this is why I'm here. In addition to all this XP that I'm going to be getting from these Sirens, I'm also going to go into that cave and pick up the first upgrade book, upgrade tome. I believe this one is the Constitution one, so I'll have a Constitution of 19, which should add an extra hit point per level, retroactively and in the future. So I should go well above 100 HP once I finish Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. Yeah, I'm already at 99. And I wasn't planning on showing where all of those are, but I certainly can if people want to know. Like for instance, there's 3 Wisdom Tomes, and then I can show all the others. There's one of each kind of the other stats. Now we're starting to get to the point where my solo character is making short work of things that would give a party a tough time, and that's simply because I'm so far ahead in experience and levels that they really don't have a chance. You would think that being down, 5 characters would be a disadvantage, but I really don't think so. The only time I ever felt weak in any solo run is you're starting when you're level 1 and level 2. You feel a little bit like you have to be a little cheesy, and then the only other time is when you're maxed out and the game expects you to have a party of 6 maxed out characters, but you really don't encounter that until a few of the levels in Watcher's Keep. The maze area in particular is a pain in the ass. But I started doing solo runs with a character that was already way too powerful. Like I had exported him and then imported him into a brand new game, and so I thought, oh, this is only possible if you have a character that's been, you know, ranked up way too high for the area in the game. And that was when I was younger. And as time went on, I was like, well, I might as well, you know, try it. It might be fun. And now I prefer to play the game solo. It just, you feel more powerful. I like being able to min-max completely. Like not having to worry about hitting the XP caps. Feeling like I'm having to spread my gear out among several different characters.